Why, hello there, and welcome back to Let's Play of Tomb Raider 4, The Lost Revelation, for PlayStation 1. Sometimes I forget to say that. Occasionally. It's Jamie Clough Gaming here, and we're on part 35 of 47. The Citadel. Oh, I haven't even put the video on yet. Well, it was on, but it was playing with itself and I wasn't recording. On the starting screen, for a change. I'm sure that wasn't intentional, I'm sure. Yeah, because I had to go to bed after recording. It was quite late. And that would be why that is. Yeah, this level is still in CAIRO, but we don't need the bike anymore, so we don't have it. And this is not a transition level. As soon as we do this level, what the hell's going on with that? I don't know. What was I doing? As soon as we... Right, I quit the game for some reason. Yeah, that was for a meal, but I've got my meal. It's too hot to eat just yet.
Thank God you made it.
Good 10 minutes to cool off.
I saw it myself.
You know how it is with
such a thing.
some meals. Anyway,
He's possessed of SETH.
Get out of
what
here,
was I
Jean.
saying? The Citadel is still in CAIRO, but it's the lost level of CAIRO. We don't have the bike, and it's not a transition level. You can't go back to any of the previous levels in CAIRO. Once you've finished this level, you can't go back to this level either.
Careful, Lara.
So just...
I fear there are things in the vaults man was not meant to see.
I'm not a man, Jean, and I'm always very, very careful.
We have it. The ancient ceremonial tablet. Take it and prepare it and see if the Croft woman has arrived with our armor.
Okay, so I had to abruptly stop commentating there because I kind of forgot the scene with Jean-Yves happened straight away. So he was being held in the Citadel, and I just released him. Unfortunately now, VON-CROY is possessed of SETH, and he's brought the Crusaders back to life, some of which Lara will come across later on in the level. Also, VON-CROY's men are on this level as well. And we haven't actually seen VON-CROY's men since the whole of Demetrius level, I believe. So that was quite a while ago. But we'll see plenty of them in this level. Both the blue and the black and red suited ninjas. I don't know why I call them. They dress like ninjas, and they can flip, but they don't actually kick you, so I'm guessing they're not proper ninjas, but anyway. They have a sword and an Uzi. And the red ones come across dodge, your bullets with their swords. However, we can't dodge grenades, so blow them best with those. The most entertaining way to get rid of them is flash grenades. Blind them and then use any weapon you want. But they're only temporarily blind. What would have been funniest if it also blinded you, so you couldn't see. But then, then again, right. It's quite well hidden, the lever that you need to pull. I absolutely hate this flat. There's so much noise, it's so stupid, you know what I mean? Did I want this much noise? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I definitely did not. No, I didn't. Like, but there you go. I was vaguely influenced by Austin Powers. Of course, the spoof of James Bond. What's funny is, like, Johnny English is sort of even more of a direct spoof of James Bond. And that has Rowan Atkinson, who best known for Mr. Bean, of course, and Blackadder. If only I could have been more like Rowan Atkinson. I'd been rolling in it, frankly, but. Right. What's it all on here? I want some music on, don't I? That I can hear that you cannot. And all I'm listening out for is just to drown out the awful sounds outside. Oh dear. Yes. Right, what am I doing? Okay. Need to get a PC, but I can't afford one at the moment, so I'll have to. Well, I could afford one. You get what I mean. I don't want to waste too much because I don't want to be too much down, and it would take a few months to recover. So yeah, I've got 62 out of 70 secrets. That area there is a secret. It's not the way to go, so where do you go? You would have thought that the main door would be the way to go, but it isn't. It's a secret. The way to go is the hole in the floor. You'd think it would be the other way around, but it isn't. In fact, that kind of reminds me of a level in Tomb Raider 1 called, well, it's the Colosseum, isn't it? Where there's a door. You think it's the way to go, but it isn't. It just is not. It's not a secret either in that level, but it's entirely optional. You think it's the way to go, but it just isn't. The way to go is actually more obscure looking than it is. So, well, that means. Oh my god, what can I do? I've overmastered my meal practically. Just managed to avoid that, but yeah, in that level, what the hell? The way to go is to leave the end of the level. It also reminiscent of Palace Midas. Some of the doors and that. So yeah, it's a bit of a throwback. And yes, this game is still a Tomb Raider title. And you'd expect similar things in this. But of course, by Tomb Raider 4, the graphics advanced a lot since Tomb Raider 1. I mean, it's only 3 years on, but it's like, well, we experienced the full evolution. We need the PC version, but it's a huge evolution, you know. Especially if the base Tomb Raider 1 is the Sega Saturn version. Mind you, there are buffed up versions of Tomb Raider 1 and look very good. Some of them even have really realistic water effects in. And I've just got it standing there. Hopefully not for 10 minutes. Citadel. Again, there's nothing here to particularly blow you away in terms of the visuals or the gameplay or the puzzles. It's, in my view, one of the blandest levels I've played in my life, but I certainly remember it. It's a bit tricky to get right, especially if you're going for the secrets as well as progression. If you're not doing that, as usual, it'll be slightly easier, but it's not that it's hard, it's just some of the jumps are hard to make. There's a lot of platforming. And then there's this puzzle with the compass, and that puzzle turns out to be very straightforward. Then there's a convoluted bit with water. You have to get the water out and then pull that lever, progress. That's the trickiest bit. And 6 years ago I had to consult Stella to do it. And 6 years later I had to consult Stella again because I'd forgotten exactly how you do it. So I didn't want to obviously spend about 5 hours getting stuck in one level. So what's got to be done is what's got to be done, frankly. And the water in there. What's confusing about the end of this level is the fact that you hear a jump, there's water, start next level, then when you start next level there's no water. That's the only sort of continuity error that I've found in Tomb Raider 4, other than that's very consistent. Because if the next level had started in a pool of water, then yes, that's what she jumped into, and you heard the splash, you know. So when she starts the next level, it must be slightly further forward from that pool, but you don't actually see the pool, unless it's behind the gate. The Sphinx Complex is what I think it's called. Yeah. So this is part 35, isn't it? And the level is, I suppose, if you were slicker, you could get the whole game done in 35 parts. I'm not a professional gamer, so that didn't happen. This is not a walkthrough by any means. So let's play it. It's sort of a walkthrough. I sort of know what I'm doing in some of those levels, but evidently this level was not one of those levels. It's one of the ones I struggle with, because of the way it is. And that's a monkey swing. Mind you, when it goes dark, I can really see the interferences. So, honestly, guys, there was nothing I'd do to get rid of it. There was nothing, unless I switched back to the old setup, which would be problematic in other ways, you know. So, it was never going to look perfect, but especially being the PS1 version. Maybe it'll let's play in a few years' time and do the PC version for a laugh. But that's something probably that a live stream would be better for, because I've already let's played the game once. I don't want to let's play it twice, you know. And I did multiple playthroughs of Formula 1 2005. But that was because they were in different things, different difficulty levels that I haven't shown and stuff. Mind you, even on the hardest difficulty, the game is relatively easy once you learn how to set a car up for a track. Even in the bad car, you can have a dominant advantage, frankly, but if you're a complete novice to it, you'll be like several seconds away from base. So, but although people say hard mode, it's still challenging because it's still the hardest mode. It just means that easy is really easy, medium is slightly harder, and hard is harder, but hard's like a medium difficulty. Whereas in the Formula 1 game I had on the Game Boy, hard mode was hard. But the only reason it's hard is because of how that game is. The only thing that makes it hard is the handling of your car is absolutely shit. And it spins out the slightest thing. That's just a really cheap way of making it hard. And of course, in the easiest difficulty, the car handles brilliantly, you know. But it's all too easy to spin your car off anyway. And then especially in hard mode here, you just have to turn too soon, the car goes yeah. But yeah, the Citadel is quite dull and lifeless, I'd say, but it's got a good atmosphere to it. And it's got unique things like the Crusaders, which are only in this level, just like the Knights in the Lost Library were only in the Lost Library, couldn't be found anywhere else. And of course, this is the second time we come across Knights, but Crusaders are more traditional Knights. But because they're supposed to be dead, have demonic red eyes and stuff when you come across them. They're very slow moving Knights as well, not like the Golden Knights in Lost Library, which run around and stuff. These Knights are very slow moving and cumbersome by comparison. So, two different types of Knights in Tomb Raider 4. The Golden Robot Knights and with the gems in the chests, and the Crusaders, which are based on, of course, real legend, you know, not just something made up. So. So yeah, this level has atmosphere. When it does that, I've already signed. But the problem is, why I have to have two browsers on is because on the YouTube I'm signed in, I'm uploading a video, and I didn't want to put any of the YouTube on that browser because it would stress the computer out. So what I've done is opened up a new browser, put the YouTube for listening to music and anything else on. I'm not signed into that one, so it pauses and it's oh sorry, I'm not signed in, I'm already signing. I've already signed in the other browser, uploading a video. And the video I'm uploading is part 20. Because the uploads are going to be a bit behind where I'm at. This hasn't been edited that well. I've left it blowing them down. This water has rivets in it and stuff. It's like moving water on still water, which is quite good. I really do like the effects on this water. Because a stagnant look, you know, it actually looks different to the water you encounter normally. This water hasn't been touched for maybe a few thousand years, you know. And it'll be very grimy as hell. But yeah, VON-CROY is possessed of SETH. And how you can tell is his eyes are red. And of course, in the last level, when you invoke SETH comes out of VON-CROY and becomes the full SETH. And then you have to trap him. And when you do that, Vernus no longer possessed him, so it's good again. But by this point, it's too late. Lara gets trapped in the pyramid. I suppose this level's alright. It's just, it's a little infuriating you know, for some reason it's a little irritating to do. And it's not my favourite level by any means, but it has the soundtrack I like from the Tomb of Seth, you know, like the To Me soundtrack. One of my favourite pieces of music of all time, of course. If only I could have been a composer like that. I could have got this chaos level that, to be honest, it's a bit rubbish. Well, my dad doesn't watch this. Yes, he would be absolutely furious because he got me it. But it's okay, I guess. It's quite limited in what I can do. And yes, I've created my intro tune with this. The tune is vaguely like a new older tune from the 80s, but it's good for electronic music. For fear for the other genres, it's a bit cheesy. Apparently, you can plug a guitar into it and twine on, but guitars are expensive. Even cheap ones are 50 quid, you know. And I doubt that a cheap one would be any good, you know. Pain in my chest. Will I die of a heart attack doing commentary for this game? Well, I might do, you know, you never know. Yeah, this is frustrating because you've got to actually... It's just that even when you get past the bits and you get past this level, there's just a lack of satisfaction because the level never really comes alive in my estimation. It's one of those levels, you know, quite mediocre. Still good gameplay mechanics. Gameplay mechanics are still Tomb Raider 4 game mechanics, which are my favourite mechanics. They're just a little too dull this level, a little too sort of convoluted. It's not hard by any stretch, but it's... Well, I suppose that water puzzle is hard because it's very complicated what you have to do. That always, for me, I always get stuck there, so I always have to consult a guide. Probably a lack of familiarity with the level is 146 players. Now in 2014, when I played this game, I used the flares far too frequently. I managed to, because I thought I'd get a plentiful supplies, and I managed to run out of flares like a spies, and I hardly had any flares to complete the game with. It was a bit of a nightmare. Also, I skipped Karnak because I thought there was a bug where the door wouldn't open, but there wasn't a bug at all. I just forgot the thing, so I needlessly skipped the levels. So I didn't actually complete the game proper. I did apart from Karnak, I guess, but this LP is the first time I actually completed Tomb Raider 4 with no cheats, so, you know what I mean, just like naked with the supplies the game gives you and without skipping anything. You know, it probably is. Like I said, 2014, I mean, a valiant attempt to do it, but like I said, I skipped the Karnak section for no good reason. The reason I was a bit of a spies, but yes, some of the levels in Karnak are a bit lifeless. They don't come to life like you expect them to, but at least you can see what you're doing there, because it's bright. In this level, however, oh my god. I've been quite critical of some of those. It's still my favourite game of all time, I guess. And for me, Tomb Raider has never come close to these heights again, unfortunately. So, or fortunately, depending on how you look at things, that's a good or a bad thing. Like I said, the best recent game is still a 2013 one. Because that had elements that actually managed to have elements that reminded you somewhat of the classics. It wasn't classic Lara, by any stretch of the imagination, but some of the puzzle elements were a bit old school, like the classic games. I really did appreciate that. It manages not to be too convoluted. And from what I played of Shadow, that game's very... when I use the term convoluted, it can occasionally mean complex, but with Shadow it means an overblown mess, really. I think most people think Shadow's an overblown mess. A tremendous potential, and obviously the graphics are top notch, you know. Some of the levels are good, but most of them aren't. And the challenges in the tombs are more of an annoyance than anything else. And tombs aren't... It's like tombs like are optional side quests. You don't have to complete the game. And in these days, it was literally all about the tombs, and they were very much the main quest. In Shadow, they're an optional extra, you know. But it's combat focused. And there's a shortcut down there. Do you want to go down there? I don't know. What we'll do. And that's quite convenient. Yeah, I'll give the level top marks for doing that. Because it cuts quite a bit of going all the way back there out, doesn't it? And yeah, and what I've done is pull the lever off, clear the fire trap, so we're free to progress now. But in this playthrough of the game, I've been a lot more careful with my flares, despite the fact it's a PS1 version. And on the PC version, you pretty much do not need to use your flares. It's so... not only is it graphically superior, the lighting is also way better than the PS1 version. It's not even funny how... well, even the PC version of Tomb Raider 3, it's so much brighter and easier to see everything. The graphical enhancements are less, but the brightness of the PC version, Tomb Raider 3, is significantly better than the PS1 version. It makes everything easier to see. It doesn't make the game easier to play, it just makes things clearer, and that means you don't need to use your flares as much. Consequently, that would make the game easier because you save on supplies. But of course, I don't have any of the PC versions, so to speak, except the time it's exclusive from Tomb Raider 4. That's one level, and my version isn't buffed up or anything, but it still looks, you know, awesome, you know. And all I do is download it off Stella's site. A very small level, but a very satisfying level. It has all the elements of a Tomb Raider 4 level. That means there's 36 levels, but of course 35 now you're getting and one bonus. It means, mind you, Angel of Darkness, I think, has a similar number of levels to Tomb Raider 4. So, with the lack the sort of sophistication of the levels here. I think the brightness isn't too bad in this level, actually. It could be worse, you know, and this room is quite well lit. You have to keep checking the compass with this one. Well, it's got a W, you can vaguely, it's hard to see the puzzle pieces there, but a W stands for west. You just got to put them in order. It's as simple as that, really. But apparently there's a bug where if you put them in the right order, occasionally the door doesn't open, which is a bit nasty, I must admit. So it's got an E on it. Quite clearly see the E, actually. and that's east. So it's as easy as ply, but it takes quite a while for it to draw the pots over because you can't move very quickly. They're very heavy, so that's actually realistic. I'll give the game praise for it. But what was different about 2 out of 4 is, well, whereas the first 3 games, when you move blocks, you're moving a very heavy, like, square object. And Tomb Raider 4 was the first time you can move smaller, circular objects. And that was quite a big leap forward at the time. So, in my view, yeah, and the 4th piece is hidden very cleverly over this corner, and it's not lit up, so you can't necessarily see it. But it really doesn't have any light on it at all. Of course, you need to, and that's the south-facing puzzle piece. It's a bit like the puzzle in Lost Library. Oh my god, planetarium. Yes, can't think of observatory. Observatory is where you have a telescope and you spy on the planets. The planetarium is a different thing altogether, of course. And I kept thinking observatory. Observatory she has in the movie, incidentally. You can just spy on the planets. Oh yes, what I wouldn't give to live in that house, just the movie. I'd sell my soul to the devil to live in there. But of course, you might have guessed that I do struggle with slower bits, so it does take me 2 videos to finish it. So unfortunately, I mean, some people could get this level over and done with in half an hour. That's just not me, you know. It's quite a big level, so. Right, I've done the puzzle. I've opened the door. Fantastic. I think I saved the game there, and I'd highly recommend you saving it there. With this puzzle that you're going to come across here, there's a real pain in the backside, in my opinion. It might not be to some people, but it is to me. The ultimate goal is to pull that chain there, but you can't pull it because it's in the water. You have to drain that area of water to pull it. And once you've pulled that chain, the level gets easier, but it's actually, and there's loads of different doors that actually open when you do this puzzle before, and you have to go through all of them, I believe. And so yeah, I'm a bit disappointed that I missed out on that mini pack in Trenches. I didn't see it at the time, but I saw an edit and it was clearly obvious. I just ran past a large mini pack, it wasn't well lit, so that was understandable that I missed. Obviously I missed a few pickups in the game, but I got all the secrets, and the ones I didn't know, obviously I looked up, and, so I knew for sure where they all were. And of course got 2 more secrets than you're supposed to get, so I got 72 out of 70, rather than 70. And I thought that if you got extra secrets it might just peg them back to 70 on the counter, but it doesn't, which is pretty cool. I think that's 60 out of 59 2 out of 3, but that's because of a mistake where there's 4 secrets instead of 3 models. There should only be 3.